Good morning, everyone. So today we are going to learn about is communication in organization. What is communication? Let's try to understand what is communication and why it is required in organization, right? So the your learning outcome of this chapter would be that you will be able to explain the importance of good communication in an organization. Then you can differentiate between a formal communication and an informal way of communication. Communication and clarification form of uh, what is a refined form of communication, that is also you will be able to understand. Then you will be able to evaluate every step to overcome the problems and barriers that is associated with transference of communication, right? So what is a communication? It is a process by which activities of societies are collected and coordinated to reach a goal of both individual and a collective group. It is a subfield of general communication, and study is often a component of effective management in a workplace environment, right? So, in a workplace environment, communication plays a very important role because it helps us to direct our energy and your action and activities towards attaining the objective of the organization as well as attaining the individual goal. Okay, so according to Lewitt, there are many reasons why managers communicate. Managers motivate, inform, and control and fulfill the social, needs of a employees. Now, communication is used to influence employees to achieve organizational goal. Community information provides facts and data to be used in making decisions towards achieving the objective, and that have been set as an by the standards. Now, communication is used to coordinate employees and the task given to them, right? The managers also communicate in order to fulfill social needs through interaction that does not involve work. Like, for example, an employee is not only required to talk on matters related to their jobs, but also matters related to co-curricular activities like sports, weather, entertainment, politics, and other social issues, right? So that's your why communication is there in the work phrase. So uh, even though this communication is not have a direct effect on work, like the informal communication does not have a direct effect of work and performance in the organization, but it does influence the employees relationship among each other, right? So, according to Rue, a study found that 50 to 90% of the time of a manager is used to communicate. Unfortunately, according to another study, 70% of the business communication fail to achieve the objective and desire. So, if 50 to 70% of the communication happens in an informal way, but in 70, it is also been seen in other studies that 70% of the communication fail to achieve its desired objective, because of lack of communication and lack of coordination among the employees. Now, let's again try to define communication. Communication is the process of transferring information and knowledge from one individual or a party to another individual or a party. All right, with the help of meaningful symbols. It is a method of exchanging and sharing ideas, values, opinions, informations, and many more. The process of communication begins with a sender who wishes to deliver a particular message. On the process is completely, when the receiver receives the provided feedback. So, a communication process starts with the sender sending the message, and that is it is sender trying to send communicate a information to a person or a group, and the receiver, uh, when the receiver receives the message, decode it and sends the feedback to the sender. The feedback can be in both ways. It can be positive feedback and negative feedback. Positive feedback being explaining that you have received the message properly, and negative feedback is like, suppose the receiver did not receive the message or did not understand the message. So that both the feedbacks are beneficial for the sender to understand that what he is trying to communicate has been transferred. Okay, so only then the entire communication cycle completes. So it is a communication cycle. So if you see here in this image, the sender is wants to send a message, has to first de-encode his information. So like what I am doing right now, I am trying to encode my message into a language. Okay, either it is in English or Hindi or any of the regional language. When it is coming in verbal way, we can also communicate in written, or that is also verbal communication, written communication, but it is on a hard paper where you have written your message and transmitted that to the receiver. Okay, so you have to first of all put it into meaningful symbols that mean something, that directs you to make it understand. So whether it is pictograph or it is calligraph, you will understand ki what it is. Suppose somebody writes a letter in a language which I don't understand, like Russian. All right, if a person sends me a message in Russian language, I will not understand. First of all, I do not know how to decode it. Okay, how to read their alphabets. Secondly, what their word means, I will not understand. So the message they have transmitted to me is not received well, it is not grasped well. So I will send the message to the sender that I have not understood the message that has been sent in this language. So the sender will again encode his message in a different format and send it all back to the receiver. Now while this process is going on, what happens is the sender is encoding his information and then transmitting it through a channel, whether it is electronic media, your voice, language, or written way of communication, or any mode where the message is transmitted, like telephonic conversation, like we are doing our online lectures, right? So it is a electronic mode of communication. So any channel, any medium that you are taking to transmit or broadcast your information, that is called channel. Okay, then we have decoding. So if I am speaking in English and somebody does not understand English, the person will not receive or the message or understand the message, right? So the decoding part is very important, like what happens in a pictograph, Egyptian pictograph. Not everybody knows how to read an Egyptian pictograph, can they don't know the what each symbol means and how to pronounce these each symbol, right? But those who are archaeologists who are working in these areas, they know how to read these symbols and what these symbols mean, right? So they can decode it, but we cannot. Similarly, you need to have, the sender has to encode the message in the same language the receiver can decode. Okay, then what is a noise? Noise is the disturbances or the barriers or the hindrance which comes to disrupt the flow of message. Okay, or completely alter the flow of message. Now let's come here. Communication is a process of exchanging information that takes place between two people or a group of people, between two groups of people, right? So the element of communication process are information sender, right? Known as the message source. It is a source of the message. The sender is a person who has a piece of information and wishes to deliver that information to the other party. All right. Encoding is take place when the sender translate the information into a series of symbols, meaningful symbols that can be identified and understood by the receiver. Okay, so here's the key point. You have to the sender has to make a message in such a way that the receiver can identify and understand the message. Okay, decode it. All right, the message is comprises of the symbols, the collection of the symbols, whether it is verbal, written, or sign languages, the and information that has to be delivered to the sender. Channel is the method of delivering from one person to another person. For example, any mode of communication that you are taking up, telephonic or electronic media, are the channels. Now decoding is the process where the receiver translates the message received into that can be understood and bring meaning to the receiver. The receiver is is the individual or the party who receives the message delivered by the sender, and the message formed is based on background of the now message that you grasp, that you assimilate, will depend upon the background of your of the receiver. If suppose I being attending the class and not able to understand English, the purpose of sending message will be incomplete. So what I have to adapt, I have to adapt to a language which is understandable to the receiver. All right. So feedback is the now we come to feedback, where feedback is to refer the reaction of receiver towards the message received from the sender. It is a process of running the message to the sender that predicts the level of understanding of receiver towards a particular message. Providing feedback is the best way of showing that the particular message has been received and whether the message has been understood or otherwise. Now, disruption or noise, any factor that disrupts and confuses or restricts the delivery of message is considered as the noise. All right. The interference may be internal or external. This interference can be internal or external factors that are related to individual himself, such as the receiver who does not pay attention to message delivered. Meanwhile, the external factors can be environmental and physical factor that cause the message delivered not to be perfectly understood by the receiver. Communication of managers in an organization, why communication is important for a manager, for a head to have. So communication plays an interpersonal role. Building up a good communication will, you have to have a interpersonal role. You under that you need to have a figurative authority. You need to have a good managerial skills and relations, good relation or cordial relationship among your employees. All right. Then interpersonal role as a communication plays as a monitoring discrimination of the information. Now you have to also interpersonally, like suppose somebody has given me a piece of information and entrusted me with the role of sending these message to all the students. So what I do is I will that person will who has initiated this message, is the source of the message, will monitor whether the information dissemination is received or is going is transmitted in proper channel and medium. Okay, so and it also needs to have a speaker, means somebody has to speak on my behalf, right? The role of this then you have a and then in a manager, he plays as a role of a decision maker. So as a decision maker, the manager communicates his ideas, encourages entrepreneurship, problem solving, appreciation, and negotiating. As a negotiator also there, or that is the field where the manager requires, it's a good set of communication skills. Now we have exchange of information and influences that organizations member and members, because there is any involvement between one another manager and the employees in an informal organization. What happens is, they whenever there's a communication, this you we have to consider the level of management which is sitting here, the uh, line manager which is on the working on the ground staff. Then you have managers who are the departmental head supposedly, and then you have the team manager or the topmost manager, where they are the directors and the chairman of the organization, who will be overseeing that all the transaction of and communication is in a proper manner. All right. The communication process, again I will repeat this. The communications process starts with the sender, then the transmission, then receiver. Okay, in between there the barrier process, such as the sender barrier, encoding barrier, message barrier, medium barrier, decoding barrier, receiver barrier, and feedback barrier. So every stage there of process of communication in the chain of cycle of communication, there is a chance of barriers uprising at any stage. So it can start from the barrier process, how you process the information that has to be transmitted. It can start from there. Then such as sender's barrier, the person who is sending the information does not have any common ground of sending the information to the other party. So that can be a predicament that needs to be addressed, or that needs to be taken off. It's a hurdle. Barrier means it's a hurdle. Then you have encoding barrier. So somebody asked me to encode a language, encode my information um, in Spanish or in Telugu, right? So my problem, my limitations will be that I do not know how to do that. That I don't know how to encode the information in those languages. For that, you have specialized people, right? So encoding barrier is there. Then message barrier. Then while the message is transmitting, that can face a barrier of transmission. Like you can see the medium where it is transmitting, that can fall short, or that can be disrupted. That is a barrier. Then decoding, again when you have sent a message and the receiver does not understand the language, or does not receive the message in complete, because of the various barriers that may have come across, the message will not be completely transmitted, right? So that is a decoding barrier. Then receiver barrier means if the receiver, the individual itself, does not understand the language of decoding it, that becomes a barrier all by itself, or a hurdle of understanding the message. Then you have feedback barrier. While you are giving your feedback to the sender does not receive the message properly or clearly, and will take it as a supposingly you have understood the message. So whereas you have not understood the message, so that becomes a feedback barrier. Then you have personal barrier. Personal barrier is when you have certain many predicaments, you have what you called many stereotypes, and set in your mind to assimilate the information. Physical barrier, when the physical hindrance comes across, like while you are communicating in electronic media, electricity has gone or network connection has gone, that will turn out to be a physical barrier. Then you have semantic barrier. That means semantic means basically understanding the concept of the sending the message. The style of communication, what are the various styles of communication in an organization, is a very influenced by the personal style of communication. That is, you can be an assertive person trying to communicate, right? An aggressive person will have a more aggressive body language and more aggressive way of transmitting the message. Then you have non-assertive, uh, where the people will start sending discrete type of messages. Now, communication flow, organizational communication, the compound interpretation, interpersonal communication process across an organization. Now, communication flow in an organization are formal communication, that is, it can be vertical or horizontal. Informal communication, and then we have the part of informal communication, we have grapevine or multi directional communication. Okay, so Vertical communication is when you are exchanging information and knowledge bottom to down, upward, and from upward to bottom, right? So suppose I want to convey that I do not want to go to the university, or come for the class in the university. So what do? I have to write an application to my PT, letting know that what is a problem that you are not going to attend the class, right? So then your PT will respond back the same information to the HOD of the center, that the student is not attending the class, and will not be able to attend the class because of his these predicaments, right? Then this information will be transmitted to higher authorities that this person has not been attending the class because of his some predicament, enrollment. So you see hierarchy of going, reaching up to the top level, where the information has to go, right? Similarly, the information coming from the topmost authority to the bottommost authority is also part of vertical communication. All right, horizontal communication is generally among the colleagues and the interdepartmental or subord you know uh, peripheral centers of your organization, right? So the communication through official designated channel of message flows between organization position, official information exchange usually found in an organizational chart, policy manual, or hierarchical structure. Now, information communication, the episode of interaction that do not reflect official designation channel for communication is inherent and even a necessary aspect of organizational life, right? So the positive part is it creates relaxed and comfortable form of communication. So formal communication is basically it is designated between the organization and the key post, and you have to have a certain decorum and protocols that has to be followed. Whereas in informal communication, it does not follow any protocol or set of or channel of approaching or giving out your information, and it is more like a relaxed and comfortable climate to communicate. Okay. Now, this is an upward, downward, diagonal, and lateral communication picture, right? So, the upward communication is when from the employees to supervisors to departmental head to assistant manager, general manager, and managing director, the information goes up to that person. Okay, that is called upward communication. Now we have downward communication according to Brathol, with Martin, and a downward communication is a vertical communication with streams, style, and increase in level of help when the one level is lesser than the other one. Like from a managing director to general manager, assistant manager, divisional department head, and supervisor. This is coming from the topmost authority to the bottommost authorities. Now horizontal communication, like Griffin has said, the horizontal communication involves colleagues and peers at a same level of the organization. Okay. So then we have the basic purposes, like the main purpose is to uh, orientate the activities of various departments and divisions of the organization. Main purpose is to provide other instructions, device, feedback, opinion, and suggestion sequence with the sub o- obtaining of the superiority. Now information flow or message flow between same level and status is there in a horizontal communication, whereas in vertical communication, information and messages follows between subordinates and superior. Okay. So there is a hierarchy of communication in vertical communication, and in horizontal communication it is a more casual way, and it can be done across the same status of the people. Generally used or oral methods of communication, or generally used written method of communication are the vertical way of communication, and non-vertical is by word of mouth, as which has been giving out. Now, the main information related relationship is that it maintains formal relationship with the other party. So what in horizontal has more informal relationship, whereas it in vertical communication it has more maintain a formal way of relationship with the employees. Now, learning of information how between the sender and the receiver is short. So communication, so it is like basically the length of information flowing between the sender and the receiver in an informal setup will, or a horizontal setup will be short, right? Whereas the length of the information flow between the sender and the receiver is going to be long, right? So now we have uh, the communication is mostly done through oral media. So horizontal communication is more informal, so it is done through verbal communication is there among your colleagues. So it is more used in a horizontal communication. Vertical communication is more used in a horizontal way of communication in a formal setup. All right. Now, the type of communication. In an organization, communication is a very important in order to ensure the message to be delivered reaches the receiver. Like shown in this image, that uh, there are three types of communication, that is formal, informal, and non-verbal. Informal also it is of furthermore divided into three types, that is vertical, horizontal, and diagonal, right? And in second type you have informal communication, where all the powers are centralized into one authority, right? Whereas in informal you have decentralized your power among certain authorities. Okay. Now, non-vertical carbon non verbal way of communication is using gestures, sign languages, tone, cue are all non-verbal way of communication. They are also of two types, that is para language, and you have kinesis. Kinesis is like through the movement of your body. Right. The first step is to inform the effective communication is to identify and overcome the barrier in the communication process. All right. The barrier will interfere with the message to be delivered to the sender. So communication barrier are of are of five types. Number one, selective perception. What perception, what how restricted perception you have, that is selective perception. Distribution, how you are distributing your information. Then emotion, what is the level of emotion you are attached with this piece of information. And then communication skill is like how well you are presenting your idea, is what your communication skills required for. Then you have suspicion. So whatever communication has been transmitted to you, you will always have a suspicion whether this is going to actually happen or not. It only happens in an informal setup. The selective perception, the tendency to listen and receive objects and information which are constant with the with our values, beliefs, and desire, but discharge and reject the information which is inconsistent with the values and belief system of ourselves. So perception is a process whereby an individual receives range of interpretation and stored information obtained from the environment. The following are the process of pers- you know uh, uh, perception filtering. So how do you filter a perception? Filtering of a perception involves difference in personality, psychology, and basic experience that influence the other people to disagree or to give an attention to a certain piece of information or stimuli. The individual are also inclined to fill in the blanks of missing information by assuming that what does and does not is known and considers to the already known information. All right. Now, disruption is any factor that interrupts confession or restrict communication. For example, a person talking over a phone is a noisy in a noisy environment will face certain difficulties in understanding what the sender is transmitting. Right? If somebody is making noise behind your phone call, you will not be able to understand what the other person on the other end of the phone is talking about. So that becomes a disruption. These disruption can be mitigated, resultant to the wrong perception towards the message being delivered. Okay, then you have emotion associated with it. So any message that you send, there is certain emotions which is always associated with. All right, so economical what you see is like, in an economical setup or an organizational setup, emotion is very important. So like we have learned about um, motivation. In motivation, you need to grasp your self actualization and basic needs, or need of belongingness, and your basic psychological needs. Similarly, the emotion reaction is such as, like, a person can react to the message angrily, jealous, or fear, or influence a person by understanding the message sent to him. Right, so emotions are subjective reaction when a person communicates with that person. The emotion, or you can become a sentiment person, or you can get emotionally driven away by the message which has been sent. Then communication skills is uh, is to communicate different forms of individual to another, with the difference that is caused by the culture, education, and training and personality of a particular person. Right, so like an American prefers to have a lot of chit chat with the unknown people, right? Whereas the Japanese people will mind their business and will not talk if you meet over a common public area. All right, so that is a key difference. Or in Indian, wherever an Indian is traveling or meeting up somebody, will tend to make certain, temporary based friends to communicate or to talk. Whereas in other many countries, where they just mind their business and do not talk unless it is required to. Right, so then you need to have a suspicion. The reliability of the source of the message and the way it is communicated has to be, always tested. So that brings your suspicion is not individually, it is when it comes to organization, it is the entire department, center, or organization is who is responsible for the suspicion generation in the employees. Now, measures of overcoming communication barriers. What are the measures? That is controlling the flow of information, encouraging feedback, language of language you which you are using, listening, using or listening. So you need to have take up language which is common to the receiver. Then the receiver who is listening the the information should understand first of all the language. Second of all, should also have certain association of emotion in it. Okay, then controlling Nivita's employees and what you emotions, like negative emotions are like uh, angry, jealous. All right, they are negative emotions, so you need to control it. Similarly, using non-verbal signs are like, uh, where you are just pointing out, please bring me that. So this is a pointing out, and this is a vague pointing out. So that means a person can see, pick up a thing which you are not which you do not intend to bring. Right, so that is non-verbal sign languages can also be misinterpreted. Now, using of a grapevine as a communication channel can also be a faulty way of communication, because it is the human tendency of putting a lot of mirch masala in the communication system, so that the once they reaches the person again, who has started the information, the whole story is altered altogether. Right, controlling the flow of information. There are some times when a messenger receives too much information that may not be able to, relevant or put a importance on it. Therefore the message must create a system that is able to identify and give priority only to the important message that is required at that point of time, right? Then you have encouraging feedback. The manager and the related parties needs to measure determine whether the message that has been sent has been understood by the person. How do you do that? You need to take a feedback. You need to have a control feedback taken from your receiver, that whether you have understood or not, right? Like whenever I'm putting up questions, I'm asking, have you understood? If you're not understood, I will put up a question. This putting up a question means that I am trying to get a what, a feedback from you, right? So then you are also no, again we have told about like negative emotions and positive emotions. All negative emotions will associate with negative people, whereas a positive emotions will be associated with the positive uh, persons around in the room, right? So positive information will be transmitted like, let me say, congratulations, you have won the prize. The same information can be transmitted, oh congratulations, now you have won the prize. It, so you see the change in the tone and the cue in my voice, that is completely altered. And right, so the cue and the tone is the non-verbal sign of the way I am trying to communicate, right? Now, grapevine. Grapevine is an information network of, it's a of informal way or network of communicating among the employees and the people. The grapevine in an organization does not emphasize power or rank. The grapevine may be, connecting a member of an organization in an in a direction of communication that has to be either vertical, diagonal, or horizontal communication, so even though the grapevine can be defined as a rumor, they are also useful to the managements. Though the grapevine management is also is able to deliver information and receive feedback fast without involving any high cost. So based on the feedbacks, the managers can evaluate whether to carry out further investigation or not, right? Now we have two types of grapevine. One is gossips, the one is cluster chain. Gossips, we know when one person starts a simulated story to all people, right? Whereas a cluster chain is related to fewer people. The fewer people will get the information, and that um, among that they will not transmit the information furthermore. Only the source of the information or sender will be giving information to another center, right? Like just like a caterpillar in this image, right? So barriers to communication, what are the barriers? The physical barriers, the distortion, lack of subjective knowledge, ambiguous and muddled message, semantic, understanding. Semantic means understanding the study of language, and understanding the symbols is what semantic barrier. So if you do not understand the language or you do not comprehend the symbols, that means it is a semantic barrier. Rumors are again rumors. As the mouth changes with the information, there is tendency of half the information being conveyed, half the true information be conveyed, whereas rest of the information will be just an associated information. So falling to communication or loss of transmission will also result as a barrier in communication process. Now hesitation in any career option is a barrier between the you know uh, sender and the receiver. Now, seven C's of effective communication. That is, you need to be credible. It has to be credibility. Then you have to courtesy, clarity, then correctness, conspiracy, and sorry, yeah, basically consistency, concreteness, the complete information has to be given out, and then the what do you call, consciousness, whether you are conscious that what information you are transmitting is true. Right. So at the end, I would like to conclude that the single biggest problem in a communication is that is an illusion. It has taken place. So George Bernard Shaw has said. George Bernard Shaw is one of the very big name in literature world. So George Bernard Shaw has said that a single biggest problem in communication is that it is an illusion. Okay, that you have given out the information. Until unless you do not get a positive feedback, it will not be confirmed that you have given this information out. All right. So now I request all of you to go to your LMS, take the quiz, and so that this is a quiz is also a way of taking a written feedback whether the class has been communicated properly to you or not. Right. So at the end, I will say ki you must learn to build a good communicative skills so that your ideas are clearly transmitted to the person who you want to send to. Without a good communication skill, a person will not have a good growth in a organization. So an organization has to grow as a whole as well as an individual. You need to develop a good communication skills. Okay, so that finishes our communication in organization for principle of management. All right, now next we will take the next lecture later.